we are a winner here in the studio because Jackie Thompson from Contemporary Cakes and Classes has joined us in the studio, and she's brought some goodies in just a couple of days out from Christmas. Jackie, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
And thank you for coming in with these cakes. Now, we're going to put a photo up on Twitter of the cake that you have made. It's a gingerbread house, is it not?
It is indeed, yeah.
Okay, so it's a gingerbread house. We'll put it up on Twitter. And if you're watching on the internet, the camera may be able to pick that up in the commercial breaks because the cameras will be on us at the moment. It's a lovely looking thing. Now, you just made that yesterday, you said?
I did, yes, in a class.
Okay,
yeah.
So how long did that take?
Well, we actually spent pretty much the whole entire day. But overall, to bake the cake, the actual gingerbread house, probably took about an hour. And then to decorate it, probably about 2 to 3 hours. But there was a group of girls and lots of coffee. So we spent the whole day doing it.
Where does your love of baking come from?
It started really when I was a little child. I have 2 younger brothers, and there's a big gap. So one was born when I was 7, and the other was when I was 9. And one of my brothers was born on my dad's birthday, and my other brother was 3 days apart. So 3 test guinea pigs for July.
And was there any family? Was it something that happened whereby, you know, your mother was a baker or your grandmother did this? She made scones and you were there licking the bowl and all that sort of stuff?
Well, it was my great aunt Florrie, bless her. I used to go and spend holidays with her, and she used to love baking and lots of bread. And she was from the northeast, from the UK, and lots of baking in them days. And that was kind of passed on. But my mum was kind of more of a savoury person, so I became the sweetie cook in the family. Okay,
so what's your favourite?
Well, I love all sorts of baking, and I love cupcakes, I suppose, because they're quite quick and speedy, and lots of people are quite eager to learn them. So I would say cupcakes is probably one of my most popular thing that I actually like to make and decorate. And then I do make wedding cakes, so wedding cakes is probably my second. But lots of sweet baking for the family as well as what I do.
If you have a question for Jackie about baking cakes, a little tip or a little secret that might be able to help you make your gingerbread man that you've brought in here for us, Jackie, which we'll be inhaling very quickly soon, or little tips to make your cakes better, particularly Christmas cakes, which we'll talk very shortly. 13 13 32 is that telephone number. You can talk, tweet or text. Our SMS is 0427 13 13 32 and the Twitter handle at Newstalk4BC. Do you bake every day?
Not every day, but pretty much 4 days probably out of a week. But I love baking. I actually find it quite therapeutic, measuring everything and then putting it together and then smelling it as it bakes. And then when it comes out, delicious, you know.
How long do they last?
Not long. The other day I was saying to one of my students who actually baked some beautiful chocolate fudge brownies, but they actually didn't last very long in the house. The intentions were to actually give some to the neighbours, but they didn't make it. So,
well, my daughter loves baking and she's very good. She made some macaroons last week, and would you believe, she made 2 trays of macaroons. Mm-hmm. How many do you reckon I ate? None. I got none. They were all gone because my wife is celiac, so she made them gluten-free. I think macaroons are gluten-free anyway. So that was something my wife could eat, and she could eat them for Australia. If it was an Olympic sport, she inhales at a massive rate. Yeah. And so they were all gone. Her and the daughter, 2 trays, bang, didn't need one.
No.
But is that often the case at your place? It's the quick or the dead?
Yeah. My son Adam, I call him the Scooby-Doo cookie sampler because he comes in, he says, "Have you got any Scooby snacks, Mum?" I go, "Yes." But they're disappointed with my cookies of late because I roll them out nice and evenly using spacers. So there's no uneven baked cookies now. So I've really got it down to a pat. So they go, "Is there any rejects?" I go, "No, unfortunately not, but there's extras, you know."
So this plate we've got at the moment, the gingerbread men, which you've done up as, they're gingerbread trees. They're not gingerbread men, they're gingerbread trees, and you've done them up all Christmassy. Mm-hmm. We've got a snowman. Mm-hmm. What's that made out of?
That's made out of fondant. So sometimes we could call it sugar paste or fondant or plastic icing, and it's beautiful and edible, mouldable paste, and we shape it And yesterday we made some little snowmen and some little 3D Christmas trees as well. You can eat them, but hey, you'll be very active afterwards,
Oh,
less
okay.
sugar.
So they're just mainly for decoration and all that sort of stuff.
But hey, they are edible. And I put dried spaghetti inside, so there's no toothpick. So if you did want to scoff it, it's not going to cause too much havoc.
Oh, okay. Now back to the gingerbread house that you made. I see some they Smarties or M&Ms on there.
They are Smarties, yeah.
Okay.
And so we've got some little homemade candy canes as well at the front. So we've rolled out some fondant and we've coloured some green, some red, and then we've actually rolled out white ones and twisted them. So we've made our own, and there are a few little shop bought. And we got a little bit technical yesterday. We made some stained glass windows. So we actually crushed up some lollies.
Okay, I can see them.
Yeah.
Are they red and green or something?
They are. And then on the other side, we've gone red and yellow.
Okay.
Yeah, they look lovely.
And the snow dripping from the roof?
Yeah, that's years of piping skills. Not really. We did that very quickly yesterday in about 20 minutes. We piped little drops and then we dragged them. So little icicles coming off. The chimney smoke is missing. I actually think it's on the cake board.
Oh, okay. So there was smoke out of it as well. Yes, I see it now. Yes, Jared's put that back in.
And we use fairy floss for that, but I've actually just used some aquarium wool, which just placed on top. But yesterday we put fairy floss on, but that will actually dissolve, unfortunately, with our hot humidity. So,
okay,
yeah. So a feast for the eyes.
Now, how do you feel when people start eating some of those creations? Is it almost like a there's so much work, or you just like the fact they enjoy eating it?
Absolutely. And when a student will make a cake in the class, I go, right, you've got 3 days to scoff this, otherwise I'll be coming round to your house. They are works of art, but at the end of the day, they are to serve a purpose and they are to be eaten. And as beautiful as they look, they are to be eaten.
Okay, your classes. Tell us a bit more about the classes. And like, is it mainly women, or are more and more men now
I have
becoming?
a mix sometimes. It is mainly women that come along, but I occasionally have the odd chap that comes in and learns as well. I run classes. I'm actually based in Daisy Hill, and I actually have a separate cake studio built in my gardens. So I'm actually in a shopping complex.
Okay.
I'm all licensed, and so I get my yearly inspections, and I run all different types of classes. And my groups are small, which is beneficial when you're learning.
Well, it is, because you can ask questions. You don't feel intimidated either,
No,
do you? You don't
no.
feel as though you're being left out, because it's important, no matter what you're teaching people, that they feel as though you're almost doing it one-on-one.
Well, that's what's lovely about the groups, because I actually run a class with minimum of 2 and then a maximum of 6. So,
Okay.
And it's great. And then I have a Facebook page and a website, and you can see all the pictures of them with their cakes. And there's such a sense of achievement when they walk out that room and go, wow, this is my cake, and they take it home,
What is the website? I'll just get it up here while we're talking.
My
too.
website is www.contemporarycakes.com.au.
How do you spell that?
Well,
I got it here.
yeah.
Contemporary.
It's because I'm called Jacqueline, you see. I can spell these awful long names.
Contemporarycakes.com.au. Okay. Now, do you have different levels, or you mainly doing for people that not so much novices but want to learn more, or just want to learn full stop?
It's for the home hobbyists, really, as well as people that are already cake decorating. So I offer beginners classes. So I do a bacon cupcake class. We bake the cupcakes in the morning, and then we decorate them and make beautiful little roses, flowers, butterflies. And then you can do a beginners 2 or 3 cake, which is actually a 7-inch round cake, and then we learn how to use ganache and use a fondant. And once they've done a beginners 2 or 3, they can come back and do a handbag class, Noah's Ark, the watering can.
Sorry, a handbag class. What?
Handbag cake. So we actually...
A cake that looks like a handbag.
Absolutely, yeah. Without getting into trouble, there are a few designer styles that I've done. But
okay.
And I actually published my first book, which on the front cover has my lovely handbag cake on that as well. Handbag cake on the front cover as well.
Okay, castle cakes, Mad Hatter cakes.
Yeah.
Well, see, we missed out. My daughter had a baby shower a couple of weeks ago. We should have got a baby. We got a christening and baby shower cake from you.
But I actually do. Also, I do bridal teas and baby showers, parties as well, and kids parties. So I really cover lots of sweetness.
Is it an obsession?
It
Jackie?
is, yeah, because I sometimes go to business meetings and they all talk about, wanting to retire or having time off, and, but when I even have time off, I'm still in my cake studio, or I'm still I've already drafted out 4 more books. My first book was published last year, and I've outlined 4 more titles now, and now they're in the process of getting laid out, because I just love what I do, and it covers it creeps everywhere because it's a passion, and it's just such a lovely, and I've been very privileged that for the last 6 years I've been doing this full time now. I worked as a chef for the first 4 years when we emigrated from UK, and now I really am living my dream, and I'm doing my dream. I'm doing really what I love.
And I often, it's 2 separate areas, isn't it? Chefs don't bake, and bakers don't cook, do they? It's a very...
Yeah.
You can't do both, I suppose.
But I did.
Yeah.
And that was how I became, because I loved making sweets, and then I went to college, trained as a chef, and it was all savoury stuff. A little bit of cake decorating, but not much. And then when I got my first job working at a big hotel, none of the chefs would want to make the cakes if it was a couple's anniversary or
weddings.
Well, so that's when it all began, because I actually love that creative side. I love savoury. I've got a dinner party New Year's Eve. I've got 15 neighbours coming for either side of where we live in Daisy Hill, and I still love to do catering jobs, and I sometimes do a private dinner party. But I still keep my hand in, but I love the sweetness of what I do, And it's true, some people don't want to dabble in both areas, but I actually love the sweetness of what I do.
I'm looking here on the website, contemporarycakes.com.au, and this 9-tier wedding cake